Now, Israel has approved the delivery of aid into the Gaza Strip through its Kerem Shalom crossing. The office of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said this would allow Israel to maintain its commitment of allowing 200 aid trucks entry per day. Until now, all trucks entering Gaza had to pass via the Rafah crossing in Egypt. The UN has warned that people in Gaza are facing a humanitarian catastrophe with severe shortages of basic supplies.
Well, Gaza has been plunged into a near communications blackout, leaving more than 2 million Palestinians virtually cut off from the outside world. Internet and telephone lines went down Thursday and remain inaccessible. That's according to Gazan authorities and communications companies. The outage is hampering aid deliveries in the territory. Israel recently reopened its Kerem Shalom crossing, allowing it to maintain its commitment of allowing 200 aid trucks entry per day. Well, let's get more on the humanitarian situation in Gaza from Tess Ingram. She's a spokesperson for UNICEF, the United Nations Children's Fund, and she joins us from Amman. Welcome to DW. Can you give us a sense of how much of a difference this opening of a second border crossing into Gaza will make to Palestinian civilians?
Well, aid at the moment, Mariana, is an absolute matter of life and death for the children of Gaza. We've been talking for weeks now about trucks crossing through the border, but I think, a lot of what we've missed with these discussions is how essential the aid inside those trucks really is. UNICEF is delivering simple things like bottled water and soap, but also important construction materials and generators to help rebuild infrastructure that's been damaged. So these trucks are incredibly important to the survival of the children in Gaza. We've only been getting a trickle across the border. So the opening of Kerem Shalom crossing is going to help, hopefully, a great deal, because it will add another screening point to allow more trucks in. But we really won't have a good feel for what a difference it's making until we see it in action.
All right, well, you mentioned some of the items that are being brought in, like soap and drinking water and generators, but how do you prioritize where this aid goes? And with so many people displaced, so many Gazans on the move, how do you distribute it?
Well, as you said before, Mariana, it's becoming increasingly difficult once we are across the border to distribute the aid because of these ongoing communications blackouts and the intense crowded spaces towards the south of the Gaza Strip, where almost 1 million people now have been pushed down in and around Rafah. And that's a city that really is only kind of set up with infrastructure to accommodate 250 to 300,000. So places that used to be schools and community areas are now rubble. It makes it very difficult for us to do our job. And with the blackouts as well, if you can think about us coming in with these trucks of medical supplies and trying to communicate with hospitals to make those deliveries, it's becoming very difficult.
Well, Israel has so far made it clear that it's not about to back down with its offensive in Gaza. So under these circumstances and all the challenges that you describe, what would you say is the most important thing that children, which is what your organization looks after, what do the children need most urgently?
Well, there's only one real answer there, and that's something that we've been calling for weeks now, and that's an immediate and long-lasting humanitarian ceasefire. That's the only way that, one, we're going to be able to deliver the aid in the way that we need to meet the needs of the children of Gaza, but also for the children of Gaza to see an end to this fighting, which has killed thousands and thousands of children, it's injured thousands more, and it's really changed their lives as they know it. And we're really concerned at the moment that if we see another month, 2 months of this fighting at this level, that disease is going to become much worse than it already is. Malnutrition is going to become worse, and we'll have a real children's health crisis on our hands. So not only do we need to fear the airstrikes from the sky, but we also have to fear the disease that's now coming from the ground.
Germany is sending a plane carrying medical supplies to Egypt to help patients from the Gaza Strip. The flight took off from an airbase in western Germany. It is scheduled to arrive in Cairo today. Several tons of medical equipment are on board. Some Gazans injured in Israel's bombardment of the Strip have been sent to Egypt for medical treatment, with many of Gaza's own hospitals no longer operating due to the conflict. DW's Emily Gordine was at the airfield where the plane is being loaded. She told me more deliveries are planned.
This is one delivery in a series of different deliveries. Next week we're going to see a delivery that will include supplies such as tents. It will be part of the EU's so-called air bridge initiative that will see aid worth 2 million euros being delivered to Gazans. We'll be seeing more aid then being delivered through to Jordan as well. And all in all, if you look at the numbers, Germany has committed approximately 180 million euros to the Palestinian territories, and around 2/3 of that only in the last few weeks. So Germany is trying to step up its commitment to the humanitarian situation to Gazans as the war goes on.